Now, Andy Train has more to tell us now about his journey of faith through a difficult stage of his life. He's an entertainer and a trainer in emergency first aid, and now a member of the Hull and East Riding LGBT Christian Fellowship. Andy was married and has a daughter, but his life took a different direction when he eventually acknowledged he was gay.
All those things you commit to, and, there I am, daughter, wife, nice house, car, the job, all the things I suppose people very materialistic things, of course, but all that in place. And why do I feel so miserable? Why do I feel like there's something not right here? And I did go through a period of asking for help from lots of different places and people, and it just showed up there wasn't really an awful lot of support out there for anybody.
Did you ask God?
I did. I think those Bibles that you get where you've got at the back there where it says, if you're worried, turn to page whatever, and there'd be something, you'd have scripture that would kind of give you support. But it was, I don't know, like a shameful thing to admit publicly, but I think that always having had that, and even the Broadley Chapel within Holy Trinity, I still hold dear as the place I would go, and sometimes would cry, and sometimes would be, but it's just having that place for peace, and know that you were loved, really, for me, and that has really helped me through. Obviously family and friends and other things have also helped, but going to the Wirral as it was way back then, and that was the place the Church of England had. My vicar at the time really tried hard to find some help for me, and did well. But I was in kind of teenage mode, even in my even though I was in my 30s, I'd kind of trying to work out who I was and why I felt like I did, and to be told that yes, it was okay to be gay, but not to act on it was kind of not the words I needed to hear at the time. It was kind of difficult, really, that there's rules about whatever, and even my ex-wife at the time had a list of things you can come back if you do the following things, and a lot of it was like not being with anybody who was gay, and you just can't. That'd be such a miserable existence if you were having to all the time avoid certain people. So I knew that wasn't right either.
What's the price that you've paid for being true to yourself?
I wouldn't like to think that I've wrecked anybody else's life, but I know that the price is loneliness. That sometimes really, and still now there are, it's. I know I'm not on my own, but you do often feel like that you are in a minority group, and I know there'll be people out there listening to this who don't. Would be mortified to identify and with any particular group, or publicly say what they were, who they were, what feelings they had. It's been difficult financially. It's been to turn my back, and one of the singly most difficult decisions in my life was driving away from what seemed to be a perfect setup, really, but knowing really that wasn't, acknowledging that it wasn't right, and to thine own self be true was ringing in my ears, and all the words from the various people who'd I'd got counselling from, and just knowing that there was something else out there that I needed to discover.
Well, more from Andy's journey of faith next week and his story. As I mentioned, Andy belongs to the Hull and East Riding LGBT Christian Fellowship, which is holding a public event with a guest speaker next Saturday, which is the 26th of April. LGBT, if you don't know, is lesbian, gay, and transsexual, bisexual and transsexual. Christian Fellowship, transgender, I should say. Get it right in a minute. Lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender Christian Fellowship. And it's the public event next Saturday at which the Reverend Rachel Mann is talking. And the theme is being a trans-lesbian priest in the church today. Everyone's welcome to go and hear what Rachel has to say. St Ninian's and St Andrew's Church, 2 o'clock next Saturday. Is that talk, if you want to go along and hear Reverend Rachel Mann at St Ninian's and St Andrew's Church, 2 o'clock next Saturday.